all the...
Welcome to the Greater Victoria Real Estate Show. I'm Jane Johnston, realtor here in Victoria, and this is a show where we cut through the noise and talk about what's actually happening in our local market.
I'm Andrew Plank, also a Victoria realtor. We'll talk stats, timing, neighborhoods, and what we're seeing behind the scenes.
And I'm Jen Lowe, mortgage broker. I'm the numbers person of the group, and I'll chime in with the mortgage side.
Each week, we break down what the market means for you.
All focused right here on Greater Victoria.
No hype, no pressure, just honest conversations, local insight, and practical advice.
Let's get into it.
Good morning, everybody. It is
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday, August 5th. I'm Jane Johnston. Welcome to the Greater Victoria Real Estate Show, and I'm here with...
Hi, everybody. Andrew Plank here with the Vibe Collective. I'm with Royal LePage, and good to see you, Jane. Welcome to the week.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah. Did you catch the snowbirds yesterday?
I did, and you know what? I was on the top of 369 Pai. I got invited to go up and watch, and so we were looking around the buildings, but we saw a lot, and they flew across the harbor. It was really nice.
Nice.
But you?
Right. I took my boat out, and so we were right under them in the out by Clover Point. It was amazing. Yeah, there were so many so much action going right over our heads. It was almost scary at points where they were like, doing the where they fly at each other and then at the last minute kind of turn aside, and it's like right above our heads where they're just boom. And it was,
did you get any video?
I got some video. I posted some to Facebook, but I was more enjoying. What I didn't get was the best video because I was really just enjoying watching it. But I got some. Yeah.
We had the long view. It was cool, and you know what? Like we could see how they were lined up as they were turning around, like just even how close their wings were and everything. It was just amazing.
Man, it is such. I don't even know how they do that. Such skill and concentration. Amazing.
They must be talking the whole time.
They must be. Yeah, they would synchronize everything and know when to pull up, pull away, or do whatever their maneuvers are. But I grew up in the Comox Valley, so I saw them practicing quite a lot as a child. It's very nostalgic for me to go and see them. And this is their last big performance. They are, if you missed it, they are going to be doing a flyby on Saturday over the Inner Harbor. One last flyby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it won't be a full show, but there will be one flyby. It'll be in conjunction with the David Foster concert.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, I should go down for that. Yeah. Okay,
So
well, let's get in. So should everyone else.
Dear reader, dear watcher.
All right, so let's get into what's going on. Jen did provide an audio of the market update, which I can play here because I'm not sophisticated enough to do it online. So let's see if you can hear it. Hold on.
I will thumbs up or thumbs down.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Jen here from Modern Mortgage Direct. Quick mortgage market update. We've got some good news for borrowers. Canada 5-year bond yield is down about 8 basis points, while oil prices have also fallen. So since the mortgage rates are largely priced off the Canadian 5-year bond yield, lower bond yields are generally positive for fixed mortgage rates. So what we've been talking about this week is, why does oil matter? Oil prices don't just affect what you pay at the pump, but also influence inflation, mortgage yields, fixed mortgage rates, Canada's economy, and trade balance. As oil prices have dropped, bond yields have eased as well, helping improve the outlook for fixed mortgage rates. This week, we'll be watching the Canadian and U.S. employment reports this Friday. Stronger than expected job numbers could push bond yields higher. We could rather need support lower fixed mortgage rates. For now, it's a positive start. looking at this week. To see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
So she is off watching her son playing his fifth game in, what was it?
Lacrosse?
Was it lacrosse?
Hockey?
Yeah. Yeah, lacrosse, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that came through a little choppy. So hopefully people could hear that okay. It did come through, but it was a little choppy. And Jen was just noting that that the fixed interest rates are down, I think, 8 basis points, which is a good sign. And that much of that has to do with the lower oil prices. And
They're anticipating things to change.
yeah. Yeah.
We have a strong economy.
What are we talking about today, Jane? Or are we going to do our stats and we'll talk?
We're going to do weekly and then we're going to do monthly stats. So take it away.
It's the monthly stats day. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, yeah, so 228 new listings went live last week, 257 the week before. 119 properties went pending this week, 153 the week before. 132 price decreases in the marketplace versus 152 the week before. 119 properties expired. Again, probably a higher number because we're crossing that over the month threshold. 64 the week before.
So what we noticed over the previous 2 weeks was our pending and price decreases were in line with one another, and we're seeing pendings going down a bit compared to price decreases.
Yeah, we also had a long weekend. We had a long weekend, and people will actually tend to be less likely to list their property coming into a long weekend, knowing that there will be less eyes on the prize. It's not the best weekend to launch. It's not the worst, but strategically you could do better.
Only took us 20 years to realize that.
List to sell ratio,
too.
52.19 this current week versus 59.53 the week before.
All right, so as you said, down. And for this month so far, for August, 35 net unconditional sales. So those sales were transacted in July. And new listings, 102 so far this month, and that's compared to 1,000. So we're pretty good. 1,081 for August of 2025. Total active listings were down still under 4,000 at 3,750.
We've dropped a lot.
Up from last year. So I wonder if that's from people expiring the listings or like choosing to sell at another time or what.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? I think whatever it is, this time of year, I would expect the listings to be going down, the inventory to go down a little bit. But I want to go back to that slide. I have exciting news.
Okay.
We will be, we're working on a draft right now, and for the next show, hopefully we will have it ready. We will have a predictive factor in here as well, where based on the day of the month we have, we will also be predicting how many sales we will have at the end of the month. We'll also compare the same month last year number. We'll take the ratio of that to the current day we are of the month, and also use that as a predictor, so we can see how those 4 pieces of data line up. Isn't that exciting, folks?
Live long and prosper, buddy.
Nanu, nanu.
You're so funny. Okay, let's get into the monthly stats because Andrew's in a hurry. Go ahead, Andrew. Take it away.
Oh, I hate to have to talk about this one because it's just okay. Well, what I can tell you about this is we have an annual cycle, and you can see the portions of the current one, full of the last one, and the portion of the one prior. And what we can see here is they tend to follow a similar pattern of a rise up in the spring, bit of a drop into the summer, bit of a bump in the fall, and then a drop down into the winter. Rinse and repeat. We are currently in that phase of just dropping off after the spring, going into summer. And you can see we actually have a higher number of active listings than we have for quite some time. We hit a peak of over 4,000, but we are coming off that peak, and we will continue to expect that to go down, maybe a bit of a bump in fall, but it will continue to go down again into December.
You know what this graph says to me? The total active MLS listings says to me that despite all the craziness in the world, the market still goes on.
Is there craziness in the world?
There's craziness.
Please leave comments.
Okay, I love this graph. So this tells you the total MLS listings, which are the bars, and then the sales, which are the line, which is the line. And like Andrew was saying, you can see the rise and peak of the listings. We tend to peak in May and then come down and then peak again in September. And the part of the reason for that is because we are a city with numerous academic institutions, and so a lot of people are moving into the city in September. I think that's the factor. There's also government, and we have a very steady economy here in Victoria because of all these reasons, and also we have prisons, so we have lots of white collar workers. So what we're seeing though is in terms of the ratio, it's actually been fairly smooth, that the list to sale has been following where the market has been, and that we're heading into our seasonal decline of number of listings on market as people go away on holiday. We are turning, I think, more into a city where people are away July and August.
Right. I think, you know, there's always that segment of the buyer population out there that is waiting for the crash, is saying everything is overpriced, and is waiting for that black swan event to take advantage of that. What you can see here, and what you'll see, other than maybe COVID and the 2008 housing crisis, is overall it's generally business as usual, and you can wait years for something out of the ordinary to happen. In the meantime, the market generally goes up. Things generally are business as usual, and you will probably, you may be able to time the market and do really well, but you could also miss out by waiting. And most, again, of the people that I know who bought something, 10, 15, 20 years ago are not regretting owning it today.
Yep. I mean, even when we bought our own house, I thought, oh my God, we overpaid. And then I realized that the value of the house goes up over time. And as you make improvements to your house, that helps as well. One difference that I've noticed over the past few years compared to the market prior to COVID is just that there are more people listing in January now, hopping on with the listings, but the sales aren't really catching up until February. So just keep that in mind for next year.
Okay. All right.
And we are steady as we go. So this is our sales to listing active ratio. Sales to active listings ratio. So it takes the number of listings divided by the number of sales, and you can see we are at 20%, and that is considered to be a balanced market.
Yes.
What that little blue rectangle means is we're in a buffer zone where we're on the border between buyer and seller market, and we are more towards a buyer market, but still steady.
Yeah. So you can see in January of 2026, we kind of edged into a bit of a buyer's market, but we've been sort of flirting that edge, and we're still in what would be considered a balanced market, but towards the buyers, in favor of the buyers overall.
Yeah, and it's really measuring this ratio here from January. You can see the list to sale, and so that's exactly what I was just saying, actually.
Okay.
I have moments of brilliance.
So
Okay,
average selling. Yeah, go ahead then.
Okay. So yeah, we have come back down to about 1.3 for average selling price. This is all across Greater Victoria, and keep in mind this is average, so it's affected by higher and lower numbers. We have a greater range in property prices over the years compared to even just a number of years ago during COVID. it was hard to find a property under 800,000, a single family home. We can find those now, but also we're having a higher number of properties selling at the high range as well. So
That's true.
but
These are averages.
yeah, so we peaked in April of 2025 again in October, which surprised me, and then we actually had a fairly good spring this year. We've declined a bit and we're back down to 1.3.
You know, what's funny is if you go 2 years into the past and you look at the, you know, the average price 2 years ago, it's pretty much exactly the average price of today. And then we've just had this variability where it's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone down, it's gone up. So what to see in the future, who knows? But it's definitely on the average of the averages. This is still on, I would say, you know, not a bad place to be buying.
I think so
And
as well. And
yeah.
also, like, if you look at it compared to other cities, what I'm hearing from people in Ontario is that the market has declined, but here we're seeing fairly steady activity.
Mhm. And we also do expect, and we were referring to this earlier when we talk about owning your home, for we don't have this graph going back 10 or 20 years, but this little section here, you know, in theory, if you look at where we are in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, this number should be much higher. So this little graph looks like it's been up and down. This is the micro, but when you look at the macro, it should be on average, you know, going up over time.
So actually, I have been downloading those stats for about 10 years. So that would be interesting to do, just to see that.
Let's bring it on.
Okay, next time.
So condos, now if you look 2 years ago to condos, we're definitely up from 2 years ago. And we have essentially, you know, bounced around a little bit. In terms of inventory, we have a really high inventory for condos. We have a very strange market for condos. It did seem to make, and we were noticing this in that September 2025, October, November, December, January even, it felt like the condo market was coming back. And then I guess it kind of reached that point of saturation, started to come down a little bit again. Who knows where it's going to go from here? It still feels like condos are slow. My condo listings are definitely not getting a lot of love. People are still buying them, but the amount of selection is high, and so price point is so important to get right. And that's a hard thing to do when you bought your condo for, you know, 550 and it's now, you know, selling, you know, can't sell it for 475.
To me, okay, so we are seeing a bit of a fluctuation and an increase, but I think it's reflective of the new condos coming on the market. So those ones are selling. So if you have two products and they're of equal square footage, or maybe even the newer one might be slightly smaller, you're going to see those selling faster than the resale condos. Just people have a preference for new construction. And we're seeing, I'm going to say the word, plethora of condos in all areas of Greater Victoria. So Colwood, Langford, Esquimalt, Sydney. There's higher end condos on the market now, and I think that's what's affecting the price.
That being said, you know, condos, I think there's a bit less appetite now for buying new construction condos pre-construction. So there is a differentiator here between talking about a newly constructed condo that's available. You can get inside, you can look at it, you can use all your senses, hopefully not taste, to pick up what's going on inside of that condo. But a pre-construction, well, it's just an idea on paper. Those are not selling like they used to, and those are a lot harder.
I agree.
So you have to get the condo to the finish line, deal with less sales, and before they're actually going to get the chance of having a sale. And you're right, all things being equal, if the size is similar and the construction quality is similar, why would you buy It's like buying a car with 50,000 kilometers on it versus brand new. If the new model is out and you can buy the same new model for, similar to what a used model is going to cost you, unless there's a waiting period like you do have with new construction that's pre-construction, if you can just buy it and it's yours, you're going to choose that.
I really find, I really see that in Royal Bay right now, because you have people who bought just 2 or 3 years ago, brand new condos. They're now going into resale. And then you have new construction coming on the market.
Yeah.
And they're having trouble selling. And so because there's so many new construction, they're lowering their price. So then the resale value is coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is definitely something to consider when buying new construction in an area that is growing or burgeoning, or there's a plethora, or choose some other big word. You want to think about what happens after you've completed on this one, and the developer has this 20-year master plan of building this out. If you're buying your place to live in, you need it now, you need it today, and you plan to live there for a long time, and you love the location, the views, the setup, no problem, buy that. But if you're buying that in the hope of reselling or flipping or making a profit, or your timeline is less than 5 years, I would caution against that type of purchase as an investment.
Yes, and
okay. Yes.
So I'm finding that with single family homes there as well, that so the resale single family homes are competing against the new single family homes, but the advantage of a resale family home is that you have more of a neighborhood feel. And so for condos, I think it's different. They maybe wear and tear a bit differently. For single family homes, if you're going to maintain your home, people are going to come in, they're going to see it finished. If you've made really smart decisions on the upgrades that you've put in, for instance, I found a little kitchenette in the basement to be a really great addition. If you have an extra bathroom down there, or even if you've just finished the space, then people appreciate that. And they're going to pay more money for that than for the new construction. I'm seeing that happening.
It goes back to, new construction often feels a little bit less, there's less soul in it, and maybe the landscaping isn't in place. And certainly the neighborhood hasn't gelled together potentially. And also there's going to be other construction around you for a while. So when you can buy into an established neighborhood where you can see and you know that there's no further homes going to be coming up, let's say blocking your view or causing dust or whatever, then maybe that's going to be more attractive. The warranty does factor into it. Obviously, location, the builder, the build quality, what upgrades were put in. You can generally get better value with a single family home resale where, and sometimes you do want to see how a home is aged. I like to know that it's, the fit and finish is holding up over time. Because
the other thing with new construction, with like if you compare apples to apples, with same house, 5 years old, new house, you're going to be paying 5% more for GST on the new construction, and then maybe on the other one. So there, I find you get the house, they either finish the basement or they put in a garage. So you decide which one you're going to take. And then maybe the owners have chosen the garage and finished the basement themselves. And so you end up getting a little more value for the same amount of money.
Right. Or those improvements have been done, and then you're not buying a home that's new construction, but you still would have to do that. You need to put in the kitchenette, you need to finish the basement, you need to do these other things. And you would much rather buy something turnkey, ready to move in. You don't want to go through a reno. You don't have the money for a reno. You have the money for a down payment, but you don't have the money for a down payment and a reno. So these are all things that go into it.
I would say the biggest improvement for resale, if you're going to sell a home resale and you're competing against new construction, is look at your flooring and just make sure it's in good shape. because I go into these where they have the carpet's like ratty, or they have cats or dogs. It really doesn't show well. So it's an inexpensive fix to make something look brand new again.
It's not it's inexpensive relative to the cost of the home, and yes, it will pay itself back. I've certainly had clients look at homes, and keeping Royal Bay as the example, I can think of one in particular we went through, and it just felt like it had been heavily used, pets, children, and so it was a little dirty, a little disheveled, and if they had, and it's hard because if you're living in the home with kids and pets, you're going to have to sell it as it is because it's almost impossible to bring it back to the way it was. But there are things you can do to make a home look a lot better than that, and it will put $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 difference.
Yep.
Or it might just be the difference in a sale versus the next one, the home down the street selling, and the next home down the street, and the next home down the street, and you're still on market 6 months later, a year later. Anyway, let's keep this going.
Okay, I'll do this one. This is row townhouses. So these are side by side homes that usually are attached, and we're looking at a very steady market. Again, we have a lot of new construction. To me, this is the missing middle type of construction that we're seeing. So people are choosing to downsize from single family homes, or they're upsizing from condos into townhomes. Great, it's affordable. It feels like it's your own house. You have your own yard. And we're seeing a slight increase from $850 over the past few years. I'm saying we're around $875. And that has been a very good market for people. Again, we're competing against new construction. There's lots in Saanich West, and again in
We're seeing now
Royal
the multi-unit, the SMUs, single,
multi-unit.
multi-unit housings. So we're seeing these, people are taking lots that used to contain one home. They have now 4 townhouses on them. We're seeing a lot of that kind of construction coming in with the new provincial rules. So that's going to change things.
Especially in Oak Bay.
Yes, a lot of them in Oak Bay.
Yes,
Our colleagues had a great tour a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, and we toured a lot of these new units, and it's a really interesting. It's really interesting to see an area like Oak Bay develop up in that way and have these new options.
What's interesting also is the resistance for people who want to keep it the way it used to be, and beginning to realize, okay, you know what? This is the new evolution of Oak Bay. I would say the biggest factor is in Oak Bay is going to be parking in those small windy roads.
Parking for sure. And, I saw a lot of different configurations as developers envisioned different markets within Oak Bay for these, but my favorite was one on Cadborough Bay Road that was, had an elevator, and it was really designed for the person who was selling off out of their large sort of estate home, maybe somebody out of the uplands, into something that was really high quality finish, excellent floor plan. This person does not want to take care of or care for or deal with stairs in their big home anymore, but does not want to leave the neighborhood. I thought it was a really excellent design choice on the part of the developer. Whereas I saw some others that were, two stories, a little tight fit, might be okay for a family, but it's not going to, in Oak Bay, because you have to high property values, it's not going to support that kind of. I didn't think there was the same kind of support for that kind of housing.
So I went and looked at townhomes all throughout Colwood and Langford over the weekend.
Yeah.
And first of all, I want to say kudos to developers who changed the rules from 1 to 2 dogs or 1 to 2 cats, because the standard rules are 1.
Oh God, yeah.
This really opens up the market. I put a little spreadsheet together, and what it does is it allows people who are in love with their pets an opportunity to move into a place other than a single family home because they aren't really allowed in that many condos. But anyway, what we found interesting was I made a little diagram for them. So, are you overlooked by a condo building? What is the orientation? Whether or not you're an end unit? Are you getting enough natural light? Because if you have the garage in the front, and you're south facing, you're not going to get a lot of sun into the unit itself. So looking at that, what's the accessibility to the yard? Because a lot of these tend to be on 3 levels. So having a walkout from a main living space is so
Oh
important.
man. Yeah.
And having a fenced yard, some of them didn't have fenced yards. And I think that's also important as well, because again, if you're going to have the pets, they want to have the fenced yard. So
Yep.
just having opportunity for and choice for people. There's so much out there right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And affordable.
Jane, you and I had a conversation a few weeks ago. That recording did not get used. We ended up, unfortunately, accidentally getting it deleted. But we talked about the cost of pets, right? Pets are expensive, but people will spend money on pets because we love them. They're part of our family. So that developer, by putting that fence in, yes, it will up the cost, but it will also up the utility of the space. That developer, by allowing for a cat, 2 cats and or 2 dogs or a mix, that allows for a lot wider. Many people have 2 pets. They have 2 cats or a cat and a dog, or 2 dogs. They have that, and just having space for 1 pet as a standard bylaws is not really appropriate, in my opinion, for a townhouse.
So what was interesting yesterday was I was at 369 Tyee, and a lot of people had dogs with them, and
Yeah.
the dogs were all great. They were all great they were well trained, and they were considerate of the other pets. So I think it can work. It just seems to be not the norm in Greater Victoria to have pets. Anyway, let's get back to our presentation. We are just looking at benchmark prices. So this is a kind of a pseudo pricing that is statistically put together to represent the average single family home. So just looking last month and last year for single family in Greater Victoria, we are down in terms of the number of units sold, 14.9% over last month, but we're up 4.4% over last year. The average is at 1.3, which is what we were talking about, and it's been steady last month to last year. The median is at 1,165,000, which suggests to me that the market might be going down, which is interesting. Over last year, it's down 1%. And then, do you want me to keep going? Because I like
Oh yeah, you please do.
Condo units, last month we sold 209. That's up 14.8% over last month, so that's good. But it's down 7.1% over last year with a median price of $610. So that's up 3.3% over last month, but also up 3.2% over last year with a median price of $525,000. So, and then row townhouses, 82 sold, and that is down 12.8%. It's also down 15.5% over last year with a median or average price of $872, median price of $794. So again, we're looking, I think, at a little bit of a decline over time, and we're down 3.8% over last month, the median price. So still, we're doing well. 640 total residential sales, and active listings were at 3,847. So down from last month of 4,054, but a little bit up over last year.
Just point out that
Okay.
some of these stats sometimes come from slightly different search configurations, so they don't always match our earlier stats.
Right.
Okay. So, we are the Greater Victoria Real Estate Show. We are the three of us coming to you with our expertise and trying to give you some great advice and useful, relevant information. We would love to hear from you. So please, if you like what you're seeing, give us a like. If you haven't heard of us before and want to hear from us again, please subscribe. Please send us your comments. Please comment on our show. And please share with anyone you think might be wanting to hear what's going on in Victoria real estate. I am Andrew Plank. I'm with the Vibe Collective, a team at Royal LePage, and very happy to serve you in the Greater Victoria Marketplace. So if you would like to reach out, I'm at 250-360-6106. And my email is info@andrewplank.com. Website, andrewplank.com, and the team website, realvibe, REALVIBE.ca.
All right, Jen's not here today. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Jen's not here today, but she's with us in spirit, and you heard from her earlier. So if you are looking for mortgage advice or looking to buy or sell a home, one of the first steps is talking to the mortgage lender. So reach out to Jen. She is with the Modern Mortgage Group, and her number is 250-217-4925. Her email is jen@jenlowe.ca. Isn't that easy? And you can find her website at jenlowe.ca. That's JENLOWE.ca.
All right, and I'm Jane Johnston. I'm with the Briar Hill Group at RE/MAX Metchosin with Sean Provencher. You can reach me at 250-744-0775. My email is jane@briarhillgroup.com. My website's briarhillgroup.com, and you can follow me on Instagram at realtyteacher_RE/MAX_Victoria. And we are on every Wednesday. We're going to try and go live again because it's so much fun. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
I'm just going to set the outro video. There we go. Take care. Thanks for joining us on the Greater Victoria Real Estate Show.
We're here weekly, bringing you up-to-date insights on the Greater Victoria real estate market.
Make sure to follow and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you listen to podcasts so you'll never miss an update.
We'll be back next week with more clarity around what's happening and what it means for you.